Greetings, y'all. I think we are about to party here. All right. If you want to see what I'm talking about, hop on Zoom with us. And if you're on Zoom, yippee, welcome. All right. We're here to liberate Earth one Earthling at a time. So thank you for joining me, fellow Earthling. We're going to cover some stuff today that is actually really important to me, and I'll tell you all about why. So we're going to go over facts about hydration, how this can be reflected through our everyday lives, solutions for that. Then we're going to kind of tap into what am I doing, or you do, the viewer, what we're doing every day, different properties the water can have. We're going to just gently graze across the science of it because that is a whole hours long discussion in and of itself. And then we're going to talk about how you become a part of it. Little things one step at a time, but I will introduce you to myself. I'm Elizabeth. I came to this water from a very skeptical point of view because I wanted to protect my friends from it. I wanted to prove it wrong and be able to tell them, hey, this is a big scam going around because this, and that. And then I actually read the science and I read the research. And after 2 years of that, I decided to finally try the water. And the stuff you're seeing here in my elbow pits from ye back in the day, this was every day all the time. This did not feel great. If you have had eczema or psoriasis, it's very itchy. And the itch alone is so energetically draining, you actually have no idea. So after trying the water for 1 month, my skin has been perfectly clear since. So this is me. This is me out and about with the peeps, sharing the water. Um, my name is Elizabeth Gove. You can email me here, find me on any social media at Liminal Energy, or just check out all my links to that URL there. So, when I was connecting the water dots, as I said, I was a skeptic. I need to be able to tear this apart for my friends so that, they're not gonna get scammed. Haha, joke's on me. Is that, I wasn't really drinking water then. I was on pharmaceuticals and I was not feeling good. I was not feeling my best, and wasn't really connecting that, like, what goes in is what comes out. So it actually is that simple. But when you're in the humdrum flow, just trying to keep going, trying to keep pushing, you can kind of become blind to what's actually pretty obvious. So, after much deliberation and a heartfelt PowerPoint to my husband with too much science in it, bless his soul, I, in 2021, December 2021, started to cleanse out my gut, which is what I was talking about with the uh eczema leaving in a month. I'm Girl, we are still clear here. No itches. You know, like I the science literature I read on it only ever talked about bathing. And I was like, well, if the bathing is so good, putting it in would probably help more. So, me, when I first started drinking, doing pretty good, truly feeling it. And it kind of doesn't stop. You just keep feeling it. And then now, 2025, I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling like the confidence that comes with, you know, putting in the time and the effort and actually learning and investigating and being open enough to do that in the first place is like hard enough. It's like half the battle. Just getting to the water and getting just starting to get wet is half of it. Once you're in it, you understand. So you might be wondering, dog, it's H2O. How can there, what are you talking about? Well, if you've been tuning in at all ever with me in the past like 5 years, I already know that the idea of waters being different is on your mind. So Thing about tap water, can taste like chlorine sometimes. Sometimes it's got a weird color. Bottled water. If you read where it's from, where it's bottled, those are tap resources. And then even the fancy, you know, smart water, Gator water, water in a glass bottle, shipped from who knows where, which, why are we shipping water like that? Anyways, all of those are created as a sort of really bad option for drinking water. Um, you're just kind of feeding money into an empty hole and you're not getting anything back from it. You might feel good for recycling the plastic bottles, but like there's plastic in the water, brother. You're drinking plastic. That's disrupting your endocrine system, and maybe that water doesn't even have the PFOs and the PFAs out of it. So just if all you're doing is filtering and bottled, you really got to tune into what filters you're using. So here I'm going to get into some detail about types of water, and if you want to hear more, go ahead and hop on the call. And I'll have a link available if you would like to see the rest of this. So hop on over if you're ready to see more. So in filtering water, we have distilled and reverse osmosis, which is you're on the right path. This is like a good direction because you're removing bad stuff that's in there, but you're also removing the good stuff that's in there. So you want, in order to digest water, it needs to have minerals in it, or the water leaches mineral from your body to be digested. You needed that mineral there to serve that function. So if you're in the distilled world, if you're in the reverse osmosis world, keep that up. This is something you can do in addition to it if you're already enjoying that flavor and taste. Now, we talk about filtering. We gotta know what's in the water in the first place. So a great resource is this link here. You can type in your zip code if you're in the United States. And this is Salem, Massachusetts. So we got a lot of PFOAs, we got a PFOS, we got just not good stuff. Just some chloroform, casual. I love Salem for the chloroform water. Anyways, don't just think about all the ways that you're drinking water, but you're showering, you're brushing your teeth, you're doing laundry. The laundry touches your clothes. You're brushing your teeth. You're watering your plants. You're cleaning things with water that is more than just H2O. So I implore you to actually dive in and explore what is in your water supply. Now, this is probably going to be in everybody's water supply, and if you're lucky enough to have well water, there are other minerals that we could chat about if that is of a concern, but at least for all of my adult life, chlorine has been the common feature in taste in my water supply. So something that I didn't even think about was like, I have my Brita filter, a little chlorine comes through, I think, but I'm not sure. It's less than what I smell in the tap water, but I don't know. Is it still there, or am I just kind of like tuned out to it? But not only that, not only is it in the drinking, you bathe in it. So your nice, warm, open skin has opened up to absorb more chlorine. And if that's not enough, because it's a nice warm shower, because it's chilly in New England, you have steamed chlorine that you're now inhaling. So if you have like sensitivities in your lungs, like sensitivities on your skin, sensitivities in your gut, chlorine is terrible for your gut. And it's bad for biomes, which is why it's good for cleaning big pools, big bodies of water, but it's not great for us to ingest. So tune in with what's in your water, and this is a big one. Mm. I just took this picture. So if you're showering in Massachusetts, I think I get some pretty good water where I am. It's what I'm showering in when I don't have a filter, so I could tell the day after I changed it, like all the pores in my face were much smaller, so maybe you thought this conversation was going somewhere first. I had to park it right here because this has actually made a difference. As y'all that knew me as a kid, my hair was not long, and that wasn't without me trying. All right, it just broke and snapped. It was not healthy, so I understand that age comes with that, but as I was aging into my 30s, to my late 20s and 30s, things were getting more brittle, things were not getting harder. So I definitely see the high correlation between the water I'm drinking giving my body more energy to stop ripping itself apart and instead building some things up. Y'all are gonna love this one. So I show you the shower filter that I use. It's great. But I want to show you how fast your body absorbs chlorine. See if this will work. Zoom in here. I think you can see that. Hopefully, let me know. Let me know. All right. So while the one on the bottom is dissolving, my hand is in the top water. I'm not putting drops in that. There weren't drops in that. But now, 10 seconds later, there's no chlorine for my skin to absorb. That chlorine is in my body now. That you can see is all in the bottom cup is now in the top cup. So let me get back to my presentation. Here we go. All right, bless. So, wacky. If you even are getting the hint of chlorine, don't mess around with Brita. Just stop. Just stop. I used it for 10 years. It's not worth it. If I could go back sooner and have this stuff and even pay twice as much for the machine, I would. No joke. So, come to a stopping point here, come to a breathing point, a break, a pause, is that we want to improve our area and we want to improve in all areas of our health. I imagine. I'm not sure who wants to not feel better about their health, but feeling better about our health, feeling better about the health of the planet with not throwing plastic bottles everywhere, no matter what they're made of, directly us allowing ourselves to directly impact the plastics, the chemicals, and the pesticides that are continued or broken down through us. And I don't know anybody who has the luxury not to think about money and time and energy. And this is just another way. Maybe we could, how can we synergize? How can we work everything in together? We gotta drink water every day. And I imagine in all of that, with your health, with the improving, that you just want to have like more connection, feel well overall, have more energy in connecting with people. Like, if you don't agree with any of those, that's fine, but I would believe that at least probably three, and probably for sure number four apply to most folks that I know. So as I get into this, we're gonna get serious. I'm never saying that it's the water that does it. The water is a tool that lets your body do what it does on its own. Know what I'm saying? Come along. So, the properties of the water I talk about, Kangen water, is that it hydrates at a very deep level, it hydrates quickly, and it works in conjunction with our body's design at a cellular level. This is not a joke. This is not a euphemism. This is literal. It is also an antioxidant, being on the alkaline end of the spectrum. That means it has a greater potential for hydrogen. That hydrogen got into the water producing an electron-rich environment via electricity. So electrolyzed reduced water is H2O with an abundance of H2, molecular hydrogen, dissolved into it. H2 is a gas dissolved into water, H2O. That additional H2 is what is making it 9.5 to have a potential of hydrogen, a potential hydrogen of 9.5. In that, it's also alkaline. And, you know, our body wants to be in the middle, wants to be neutral. Our blood regulates its own pH. We don't need to help it do that, but we do need to help the rest of the body clean up the stuff that's going on. A little too much UV, it's bad food, a germ. That's all your body's cells working together to work off and re-heal these areas that get little nicks and scratches. We want that positive voltage, that alkaline nature to heal those wounds. So I think we're all getting enough acid all around. So when I'm talking about the charge of the cell, the charge of the water mattering, is that these plus signs, this is our tissue. This is the wall of our cell. And our body has a positive charge, plus sign. The H2, the molecular hydrogen, dissolved into the water, has a negative charge. So instead of a positively charged water that is trying to take electrons, plus and plus, we have a plus and a negative. So it just goes right through, north and a south magnet. They want to be together. So this is how it wants to work. This is how it works naturally. And this is our plumbing system at a molecular level, says the guy who got the Nobel Prize in 2003 for this discovery. So go talk to that guy if you got problems. It makes sense to me, and I'm feeling it in my body. People can get a little wackadoodle. I kind of touched on this, but there's just stuff going on. That's all right. We live in a big, beautiful world with a lot of, variety and range. And we want to help slow down the ouchies and the boo-boos and the things that tear us down. We want to, rebuild elegantly and gracefully as we age. And this just kind of slows that down and makes it easier on our bodies. So, if you're smoking, if you love the sunlight, if you, breathe air, there are pollutants and things that are going to throw us off a little bit. But this water is something that kind of brings us back to the origin, back to the design of our own bodies. Now, if you're not familiar, we've got the alkaline acidity scale here. And pretty much, we love a good acid. We love something that's tangy and creamy, something that slows you down. I love a carbon dioxide drink, a CO2 beverage. There's no need for it, and yet it is designed to taste so sweet and delicious, but it is incredibly acidic. And because of how this scale works, you need a lot of one end to balance out the other end. And we're not telling our blood how to do that. But if we keep just pouring a lot of the acid in, acid, and then your body gets backed up, it can't move things out. It's going to help if you just give it some of the tool that's at the other end that's not baking soda to go in. If you're fooling around with alkaline bottled water, just stop that. It's more than likely baking soda. Okay? Don't. I didn't even put it in the presentation. I don't care so much about it. It's a lie. And it makes your gallbladder and your digestive work harder. So the reason why this machine is spectacular is because we're using just electricity and water to create the magic, to give us the additional molecular hydrogen to give us extra energy for what our body does naturally. Now, first we kind of filter out the chunky bits, and then you see the minus, the plus, the minus. Now that repeats, 7 or 8 times depending on which model you like. But this is where it shifts. So the secondary hose generally comes out the bottom. The acidic water is coming out the bottom unless you press certain buttons. But if you're getting Kangen water is coming out of the top pipe. The waste and or secondary water is coming out the lower hose. If you want to get into the science and the molecules of it, here you go. Feel free to ask questions. It's all about it. We're dealing with electrons here. The intent and the manufacturing behind this process is insurmountable to putting baking soda in water. So that's what I'm getting at here. Now you might be saying, okay, but I've seen the price. And the price is a bigger vision than you may realize, and that's okay because, again, I'm the girl who came at this from the scam angle. It's like, that's a lot of money that you're taking from people. They're not taking it. People are willingly giving their money to this business through certain people who share information because of the quality. So Enagic itself, the people who make the machine that I have, several of other models, and my shower filter have been in business for about 45 years. They have no debt under their name, and the machines are manufactured in Japan. They make their own equipment, pretty much. Original equipment manufacturer is what this stands for. They build in-house. There are over 40 offices in 20 countries. So, if you think this is small or going away or going anywhere, it's not. This company is established. They're kind of just waiting on anybody who would actually try to like to feel better. So we're out here. They have revolutionized the water technology industry and are certified with 3 ISO standards. So the first one is manufacturing, kind of basic. 14,000 is about the environment and how it works and has practices within the company to be mindful of the local and global environment. And additionally, and most importantly, is this ISO 13485 certification. And that's what makes these specific water devices medical devices. That means that, it takes 8 months to build one unit. These units are built to a standard that can maintain through time so that they are put in hospitals and are easily maintained and actually useful. They can be tested over, decades and people still use them because it still produces a medicinal amount of hydrogen. Now, I don't want to get too stopped up because this is another, pathway where we can really get to jabbering on. But there are literally like 100 uses for the different types of water. So generally what I'm talking about is the drinking water 9.5. It's great for drinking, and then some of the other mid mid alkaline pHs are good for cooking. So like you can brew tea at room temperature. You can also cook with this and your pasta cooks a little bit faster. 7.0 is great for my plants usually like 7, some of them like 6. But 7 is good for baby formula. We need babies to digest at the right amount of time. Additionally, if you're taking medication, 7.0 is the water for you. Now, if you like to use water on your face or topically rinse, the 6.0 spray, which I actually have out here, is great for just like, oof, a cool mist, honestly. Should have done that earlier. And then it softens the hair. So this is different than the Inespal water, but still feels good, and it'll let your hair do a little curly curl if it do be doing that, which mine doesn't, but now it do. We've also got the 2.5, so the very acidic water that is great for disinfecting. So like I got a couple bug bites the other day out here because I just want to lay out. Didn't put any bug any bug spray on. I know it's mosquito season. I know better. Anyways, came back in and I was like, oh, it's kind of itchy. So I just spray the area and wipe it with 2.5 and then forget about it for about the next day. And then this morning I'm like, oh, what's that? Oh, right. And I just wipe them again. It works. And then I think the last one I haven't talked about is 11.5. The 11.5 is I love it for cleaning the stove. Sometimes you gotta let it soak depending on your stove's condition, but it does great there. And then it really makes a difference with vegetables. Sometimes you can see the color difference, but there's always like always tastes better, which we can get into the details of why that works, but I'm not gonna bore you here with that. And here's the part that scared me off. Probably scared you while you're woo. It's actually believing that just sharing something that works with someone could make you money and it's a good thing. And then you could tell your friend about it. Heck, you could share the water with your friend for years. And then once they save up and are ready to buy, they can buy that through you. And you know what? You could both take the money and go out on, a friend picnic or whatever. Or you can invest it back into your business, you know. So I won't dwell too long, but I've explained that it's a solid company. This product is unparalleled because it's industry defining and setting the standard. This isn't a trend because we've seen, you know, people try to dig at it, still around. People still get incredible results. It's not a trend. Timing, I don't know. I think everybody's always caring about their health, so that's almost silly. The system that's set up in place has literally been designed by the co-founder to feed back to the people. They don't have a marketing team. The marketing team is whoever is so exuberantly excited about their product that they share about it. You've probably heard of something similar, affiliate marketing. This is just high ticket affiliate marketing for a quality product that's going to last you like 20 plus years. Let's stop fooling around. We're not all doing the low ticket, all right? Some of us are like, I want something that works for the long run. That is water, my friend. And you know what? For being honest, telling the truth, you actually can be compensated. So, this is why the theme of this whole thing is about liberation, kind of handing it back to yourself. I can do this, I have done it. And the more that I participate in the drinking of it and the feeling better of it, the fire just burns brighter that I want. There's a burning desire to share because I know how good it works. Now, when you want to get into the numbers and the details, I will elaborate further on this, but for now, I won't dig in too deep. But as you sell more, you earn more. And as you sell more, you earn more. You are also earning through the people that you shared with. So as you teach someone the ways and your ways were successful, they have worked on several. Even one person who picks it up and says, "Oh, yeah, that really makes a difference." And it would be important to share that with someone. Then you just hand them the same tools and then they can turn around and translate it into, how it was communicated to them and how they naturally communicate. That's why this business works for literally anyone at any point in life willing to feel better. It's a big hurdle, but I know you can do it. So, this sort of design was on purpose So they don't have to have a marketing team. So they don't have to have, cover-ups. They can just be honest. And people can just be honest. Now, once you get to a certain level, you're getting, not just life-changing amounts of income, but like it does anyone I know, do they make $12,000 a month? Maybe I do, and if I do, please share your ways. I'm interested in your craft, but this is just another way to have it on the side. Because, like, I still work a regular job. I'm not too pushy about this in real life. I read the room of the area I live in, but I'm getting to a point where it's just bubbling over, and it is bubbling over here first. And just know that it compounds. There's a whole nother side of this graphic I didn't even load in because we're going there together. So I won't overwhelm you with that, and I thank you so much for engaging today. Now that you're ready to invest, I'm here to answer your questions, speak to your concerns, and get your plumbing hooks up before your machine arrives, which let's get on it. And most importantly, if you're still here and you're not ready, what's your why not? It took me years and I had many why nots. So I would love to actually hear your why nots. And when you're ready, let's have a discussion and get connected. I'll share this water for free with you if you're local to the Salem area. If not, hit me up and I will connect you with someone in my community who is in your local area. The water is worldwide, and it is literally my pleasure to share it. Have a good day, fam, and let us liberate Earth through liminal energy in water.